Hey friends, my name is Catherine, and what I want to try today, if you will bear with me, is making an orange slice cane. So I've got some bits of like sherbety colored orange mixed up. I've got a snake here, and I've got just a flat piece there, and then I've got a bit of flat white that is as long as the snake is. And I want to try doing a cane out of this for making beads from it. So we are continuing our cane making adventure until we get this right, at the very least, and maybe even after that. But citrus slice canes are very popular right now, and I thought I would try my hand at making one. So we're just going to wrap this orange bit in this white piece and kind of, well, let's actually straighten up that edge because this does look like it's a little bit longer than it needs to be, which is excellent because it just means we can make a nice straight edge on this here. Hopefully, sort of, kind of, a little bit. Okay. And then roll it back around the orange snake and bring it over to the other side of white, and then just cut off the little bit of excess that we've got here. That way we just end up with the edges just meeting each other, hopefully. Something like that. So now what we've done is create an orange snake wrapped in white. So we've got two different layers on here as we go. The next thing that we are going to want to do after we smooth down all of those white edges to make sure that everything is as seamless as possible is we are going to want to take and, just like we did with the avocado, crush one side of this orange and white snake so that it makes a sort of wedge shape. And actually, we could probably do this better with our bench scraper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bench scraper and set it right next to my cane and lean it over it and press it down at an angle so that hopefully, and it did, it creates this wedge shape so that it's thin at one side and thicker at the other side. Awesome. And then I want that thicker edge to be actually slightly thicker than that, so I'm going to just rock it back and forth on the thick edge, and that will thicken it back up. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cut this wedge into 6 pieces. So for 6 pieces, the first thing that I have to do is cut it in half. And I'm just going to eyeball that as closely as possible. And that's our orange section there. And then what I'm going to do is take those 2 halves, and those are pretty darn close. Cut those into thirds, hopefully. That I'm not as good about eyeballing, but we'll see how it goes. There we go, into thirds. Awesome. And then what we do is we just take each of those orange sections and we position them so that their centers line up. And press them together. Hopefully, sort of, kind of, a little bit maybe. We'll see how it goes. So their centers line up like that. And then I'm just going to gently shape them together so that they all crush together but illustrate the sections of an orange. I'll set one end down on the table and press them down to make them squatter. wider, fatter, whatever, as a unit, and all the same length. And then I will take and put their edges on the work surface and roll them a little bit to get an even outside width. There we go. And what I'm trying to end up with is something that's about that long. So I think I can roll it even just a little bit longer and I should be all right. But that'll give me my orange sections. And then I just have to take this, and this actually probably needs to be crushed down a little bit further or stretched or something, because I don't think it's going to be long enough to go all the way around. And this is why we reserved a little bit of that orange color out separate from our main original snake, because it's going to make the skin, which is what's going to tie everything together, hopefully. Okay, let's try squaring up those edges. Pull that aside for a moment, and then cut off this edge and pull it aside for a moment, and then coat the outside as far as possible. I knew it wasn't going to make it all the way around, but that's okay. That's why we save our little bit of extra cutting off pieces, because we can just kind of force everything along. Just help it, you know? Encourage it to be the way that we want it to be, and then we can always smooth it over later. There we go. There we go. Right there and there, and then just kind of smooth everything over itself, and hopefully we will end up with something that is orange all the way around the outside. Okay, so now we've got this great big fat log that we need to roll down into a cane. And this is the part that takes the longest of anything, of all of this, everything that we do. Just rolling it gently from the center outward, taking our time and doing it right. There we go. Rolling it down into the side of bead that I want, and if I wanted great big fat beads, I could stop here and I'd have something that was this width, but I like them a little bit smaller. Don't you? I do. Okay. Just lengthening it gently and smoothly. There we go. And the ends always end up a bit pushed in because the center does not grow as quickly as the ends do, which is fine. It does mean we always lose a bit off the ends, which is also fine. You have to be a little bit more enthusiastic and a little less gentle to get down to the center so that it stretches. And you just have to be not so enthusiastic that you make it thinner than you intended. Okay. And then, these never give a good cut to begin with, but that's all right. We will just clean off those edges a little bit and see if we can't see something that gives us an idea of how it will end up. So like, I think right there maybe. Yeah, that gives us a pretty good idea, actually. That gives us all of our sections. All right, let's set that aside and do the other end. And again, we've got sections there. It's all smeared around because of the knife, but that is definitely something we can work with. So I'm going to pre-bake this. And I know last time I said I was going to put it in the oven at like 170 for like 10 minutes, and I didn't. I mean it this time, you guys. I'm really going to put it in the oven for like 170 for like 10 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out, and we will see if we can't cut it when it's been pre-baked correctly. We'll see how it goes, see what we end up with. But that'll be tomorrow's video. So I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a wonderful day. Oh, and remember to subscribe. Bye.